Hi there, it's Richard here from Bumpkin Brothers. I'm going to be talking about the building block editor today, specifically about building blocks and connectors. So I'm going to do that by running the demo that comes with building block editor. I'm just going to jump into that now and say initially that building blocks are anything that the user can create in one of your levels. It's the base item for anything that's created in with the building block editor. So they can be any shape, any size. So in the demo we've got cubes that we can create, got these little short wedges, we've got some longer wedges, and we've got curves. I've also got moving cubes in collectibles. I'll go into collectibles a little bit later. Moving cube is basically exactly the same as a cube, but it's one of the cubes that can move around. So we just jump into test mode to show that here's a cube that moves, so I won't go too much into that today. So that's building blocks essentially. Connectors are a little bit more complicated. If we create a cube here, these silver items that we can see that highlight on either side of the cube are the connectors. They show the player where they can place the block that's their current tool. So we're creating a cube, that's our current tool, and we can place it on these connectors. So once it's placed here, we can place it here or here or here. And our wedges don't have as many. So if we have a look at this wedge, we can see that if we create a cube, we can't create on the top, we can't create on the side, so we can only create now on the bottom. If I take you into design view, we'll have a look at that wedge, how it's set up. You can see it's just got a connector at the back and a couple of connectors at the bottom. So once you've seen that, if I jump back into the actual level editor and we create a long wedge, okay, we can only create other items where we've placed those connectors on our building block prefab. It also affects the way that we add them. So at the moment it's using the connector at the back as the default, but we can change that by right clicking. Now it's using one of the connectors at the bottom and it uses the other one. Right clicking just scrolls through those. It's worth noting that shift and right clicking lets you rotate. So once you understand the concept of the connectors being magnets and how you can connect and manipulate those, it becomes really easy for the user, really intuitive for them to create things. The one last thing I'll touch on is not using connectors. If you wanted to add some decorative items to your level, which we do in this with the collectibles, you don't want to have to place them on top of the connectors all the time. This splits up your level a little bit, makes it look a little bit more free. So these can be placed wherever. They do have a connector on the actual building block, which is how it knows it's going to be placed, but it doesn't need one on the level. It actually uses the level geometry and the normals to know how to place a collectible. So that's basically building blocks and connectors. Stay in touch with us, www.bumpkinbrothers.com. Ask us any questions you want. We love to hear from everybody about all their suggestions for building block editor and anything else that we do. Thanks for listening.